just changed the final drive oil on my 02 VTX, and a couple of things I did. I looked at a YouTube video, which I always do, because I'm a visual learner. But I also have a book, a manual, Climber 02 to, I think it's 07, VTX 1800 manual. So one of the things I did, and one of the things that it says to do in the book, is to drive it for a few miles to warm the oil up, and really it thins it out a little bit, but not much, because it's a heavyweight oil anyway. But it also stirs up all the little particles in there, so they're not just all sitting on the bottom. They'll all be in a suspended state in the oil. So a suspended state. I hope I said that right. So anyway, so what I did was I put it on the stand and had the back tire off the ground. This is a safety issue here, so you want to make sure everything's safe. Tire's off the ground. You got your hands on the brake and everything. You're ready to go. Cranked it up, put it in first gear, and let it run for a little while. I might have even had it in second gear a little bit, but feel better about just having it in first. Keep your hand on the brake. Make sure the tire is definitely off the back of the ground. Outside's pretty chilly out here today. I'm in North Dakota, and so it's wet, cold, and I didn't really want to get my bike out. So I accomplished the same task, I felt like, by just running the back wheel. It doesn't know if it's driving down the road or jacked up in your garage and running. So anyway, and then looking at the videos, everyone kept their bike on the stand, the jack, motorcycle stand, or motorcycle jack, while they did the final drive oil. So I'm like, I've done this once before, many years ago, frankly, but the oil looked good when I drained it, and I've already done it. But I just happened to have a friend of mine, when he got rid of his VTX, he gave me a book, a Climber manual, and yeah, it's 02 to 08 actually. And in this book, it tells you how to do the, of course, servicing and everything. So this is the final drive instructions. There's checking the final drive, and you have it on the side stand. Okay, level surface, but on the side stand. Oil change intervals, says ride it a few miles to warm it up. Place the motorcycle on the side stand on level ground. Put a drain pan underneath it. Remove the oil fill cap and the oil drain bolt to drain the oil. Okay. Not upright and level. It's on the side stand. That'll ensure you get the right amount of oil in there. Okay. Add the oil that's required, and they'll sell it to you at the Honda dealership. It's 80 W90, something like that. Inspect the bolt, the O-ring on the filler plug, and there's a washer on the drain plug. So you want to add the proper amount. The proper amount is in table 6. It's also in the manual. Over to it. And there's table 6, final drive oil capacity. And there's 2 different capacities. If you're overhauling the final drive, which most of us are not going to be doing, and there's just the oil change. And you go over here, it's 4.1 US ounces. That's by the book. And a lot of these guys will put it up right, and they'll say, well, why have I got, seems like I got a lot of oil in there. Well, yeah, you do, because you have it up right, not on the side stand. If you're gonna fill it till you overflow down here, then you're gonna have too much oil when you finish. So, put it on the side stand. There's several different things on here that need to be identified on the final drive as well. This is not a filler or a drain. This is your axle. This is a vent. This is not a fill port. Up here's a vent. Okay, so you get that in there. That's a vent. This is a drain for draining your final drive, and this is the filler port for filling the final drive. So these are the 2 you'll take out after you put a drain pan underneath it. Okay, so place your drain pan, pull both of these, replace the washer. The book calls for you to replace the washer on on the drain, and it calls for you to check, and if the O-ring is good on the cap, the plug, the fill plug, just put some grease around the O-ring. Grease around the O-ring, not oil, grease. Okay, then it tells you to fill it up, and the book's not going to tell you to fill it till it starts running out. The book's going to tell you to put 4.1 ounces in there to fill it to whatever the required capacity is. The way you check the oil, though, we'll go back to the book here. We'll go back to check the oil and see how you check it. So the final drive oil check, okay? So it's on the side stand again, okay? Step 3 says the oil level must be even with the lower edge of the oil filler hole. If it's low, add the recommended amount. So if you open up the plug, if you have it on the side stand, open up the plug or the filler plug, and a little bit of oil seeps out of it, it's going to be level. You can let it seep out till it's not seeping out anymore, but you're not going to have much difference there. If it's just dripping, just a slow drip, I think you can call it good. That's my personal opinion. Okay, the book says when it's level. The oil is level with the bottom of this hole here. And when it's level, it's going to stop running out. Okay, so that's by the book. We can all have our own little personal ways of doing things, but that's by the book. Okay, on the side stand, not on the motorcycle stand. Okay, drain, fill, axle, and up here is the vent. So these are the two, and they're 17 millimeter, and there's not much torque on them either. It's like 106 Newton meters. So it's about probably about 8 foot-pounds. Let me see here. It's 28 Newton meters and 106 inch-pounds. So I think I'll correct myself on that. 28 Newton meters, 106 inch-pounds, which is about 8, less than 9 foot-pounds. Okay, and that's the way you do it. And it's easy. It takes about 5 minutes. Do not overfill it. Do not overfill it.